Hello. You probably don't care at all, but I haven't posted for like the past 2 weeks. It'll be like 3 weeks by the time that this video is uploaded. Basically, I was studying for something. I passed, so yay! But I wanted to try out like a new video format, and if anybody else has like a format similar to this and they're doing booktube as well, I didn't mean to steal your style. I just thought that this was like
Cool.
so. I haven't read for the past like 2 weeks, and I am also incredibly tired after doing 2 weeks of studying for the test. And I think in my last video I was still reading Daughter of No Worlds. I finished that up and I gave it 5 stars. And I just recently on Kindle Unlimited got the second book in the series. I've read maybe like 40 pages. It's like 600 something, so yeah, that's a lot. But I'm also started and haven't finished The Wrath and the Dawn. I'm like less than 100 pages away from the ending, and let me tell you, people were when they said that this was like a good read, weren't lying. You know, it's definitely not my favorite book, but it's also not my least favorite. You know, it has a very interesting love story, and you kind of get to learn the plot along with it. But there's a sequel, so it makes me like kind of annoyed because I know that something bad's gonna happen in the ending. You know how like things are going good and then something bad happens towards the end of it, and it doesn't get resolved in the first book. It's very annoying. But I also really want to read Ninth House. So I'm hoping to finish The Wrath and the Dawn and start the Ninth House. Leigh Bardugo is my favorite, if not the best author I've ever read from. Her and Brandon Sanderson, like, just, I don't know. Brandon Sanderson is like, I love his fantasy and, like, love his, you know, plots and just, like, his worlds are very well written. Leigh Bardugo's characters are just absolutely incredible. I freaking love The Six of Crows. That's still my favorite duology I've ever read. That's my favorite book I've ever read. I just love her to bits. And so I'm really, really hoping, because I've heard mixed things on this, but I've heard people who read the Grishaverse like this book. It's basically separate from the entire Grishaverse universe, and the second book is already out for this. I'm very late to reading this. She hasn't announced anything new for the Grishaverse at all. She hasn't like nothing, and I'm so upset. So I'm hoping this can hold me over until maybe she writes something else in the Grishaverse, or like I don't know, maybe the Crows get their own Netflix show. Like I hope that the writers and the actors both get what they're petitioning for right now. I don't know if that'll be over by the time that this video is uploaded. It probably won't be, since the writers have been striking for a very long time. But I'm hoping that we in the future do get some sort of announcement. I think Amita, I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing her name wrong, she plays Inej, and I think she said something about reading like a Six of Crows like script and crying over it. I need that in my life. Did I finish season, is it 3 or 2 of Shadow and Bone? No. Don't ask me why. I just do that with a lot of shows. I just don't finish them even though I like them. Anyways, these are kind of my two books, physical books that I want to read this week, and I'm hoping to kind of finish these because I saw on Amazon that the fifth season by N.K. Jemisin, I think, went down in price, and I've been really wanting to read like a good fantasy series, and I've heard a lot of people rave about her and her writing. I guess this is more urban fantasy, which is I'm not used to with her, but I just love her characters and how she develops them and how she writes them so much that I'm just like, I'll read anything that she's written. But anyways, uh, let's get reading, guys. Well, I didn't make too much reading progress today. I didn't realize with the wrath, the Wrath in the Dawn, that it was only like 40 something pages that I had left. It's like 388, so it's on the shorter side for at least the books that I read, you know, not to brag or anything. I gave it 4 stars. You know, it's definitely YA. I don't know why I've just had such like a hate against YA recently. I really love some YA books, but for some reason recently I just haven't found any that I really love. Basically, this is incredibly interesting. It's technically enemies to lovers. It is enemies to lovers. Basically, this king of all kings, he is killing all of his wives at dawn. Like, they're married at night, and by dawn, all of these wives are dead. And so you have Shazzy is like her nickname. I'm sorry if I'm even mispronouncing the nickname, which is easier to say for my dumb, dumb idiot self. She basically had a member of her family or a friend. I'm sorry. Go and marry him, and she was one of the victims of it, and now she wants to go there to get her revenge for her family member. Basically, she volunteered to go and do it, and she ends up not being dead by dawn, and it keeps on happening, and then slowly you discover what and why stuff like that is happening. It's very interesting. It definitely ends in a way for the sequel to happen. I think this is just a duology. I don't know. Maybe I will pick up the second book. I don't know. I just haven't really been wanting to read like second books in series recently. I've just started them and they're like duologies or like trilogies, and I'm just like, you know, I've just been reading a lot of like YA fantasy books, and I haven't really liked them, which is always really disappointing because like I want to love every story that I read, especially ones that have so much hype behind them. But sadly, I didn't find it with this. And then the Carissa Broadbent book, I think like Children of Dead Gods or No Gods. I don't even. I The title is so long and complicated. I'm on page like 68 of that, but some pages are like when you scroll, it's not like 78 to 79 and then to 80. No, it's like 78, 78, 79, 79. Like it's some of them are doubled, so it's more than the 600 something pages that it says that it is, which is yeah, annoying, but like, you know, oh well. I always have a hard time with second books in this series because they are always kind of just like setting up for the third, but they're like you can't just like skip over them because there's character development and there's also like the plot going into it. I love the relationship, the main relationship that's in the book. I mean the rest of the plot is okay and it's very interesting, but it's not like, I'm gonna be very honest, I'm reading basically for the relationship that they have. It's not really focusing on the relationship because, you know, it's focusing on the plot. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to finish that this week. It's like 600 something pages, and with the pages doubling up, that's I don't think so. But I am really excited to start Ninth House by Leigh Bardugo. See you tomorrow, I guess. Oh, I also had like a sausage and pepperoni pizza, homemade pizza today. So that was really good. It was actually really good. It was anyways, I want to go to the gym. So I I just got out of the shower, which is why I look absolutely terrifying. I didn't film anything yesterday. I was going to. My plan was to like film me opening up my book and stuff and reading and maybe showing my dogs, my lovely doggos. Um, I didn't do that, and now it's Wednesday. But I also didn't really read that much yesterday, and I don't know if I'm gonna read that much today. But I read 100 pages in Ninth House. It's interesting. It's interesting, I'll give it that. I don't know if this type of, I guess, is it more urban fantasy? I don't know, but, I don't really know what that means, honestly. But like it feels like this doesn't really fit her style of writing as well as like the Grishaverse does, but at the same time I feel like I am very gullible and have been heavily influenced by people who say that they don't like this book. I mean, it's definitely slow right now. I'm only 100 pages in, so I can't completely judge it. Yeah, I mean it's not my favorite of her books so far, but I'm really hoping to maybe read like 100 pages per day. I don't know how long this book is. 450 pages. It's 450 pages. So hopefully I'll be able to finish it this week. I also read Carissa Broadbent. Why can I not remember what the title is? Children of Dead Gods? Children of Gods? I swear there's some sort of dead in there. Anyways, I read maybe like 3 pages of that. Anyways, yeah, I'm gonna try and read today. It's almost like 11 right now, so don't expect much. Well, I just got back from the gym and shopping. It is currently pouring, and I got caught out in the rain.
Oh my gosh.
So that's why I look so deranged as of right now. I read it's Children of Fallen Gods, not dead. Children of Fallen Gods. I read 30 pages of Ninth House. It took a very dark turn. I'm only like 130 something pages in. If you've read it, you probably know what part I'm talking about, but like I wasn't expecting that, if I'm very honest. But Leigh Bardugo writes incredible characters. It's just like the environment is just in this book is not my favorite. And maybe that's just because I like not classics, like fantasy books. I like. I'm now leaning more towards like adult fantasy where there's like gruesome stuff happening in it and stuff that back in the day is more interesting to me than modern stuff. Um, but I mean, it's really nice because it's not like mentioning iPhones every 2 seconds or anything. In fact, I don't even remember if they mentioned. They did mention she did mention a phone at like one point, but it focuses more on the magic, which is really nice. But like I feel like I'm incredibly gullible and I can't form my own opinion without people whispering in my ear to tell me what it should be. And I feel like I'm having a very hard time separating other people's opinions and trying to form my own on this book. But like I don't know, maybe it's the text size or just like how thick the pages are. It just feels like you read it and you're not making a lot of progress. Like that's what it feels like. You read like 10 pages and it feels like you read 20. But I don't know if I'm gonna finish either of the books in this reading vlog because I realized if I set like a goal for myself, I usually find it very taxing, and I'm also coming off of like being very stressed, so I'm incredibly tired. So I'm not doing a ton of reading. I did sit down and read 100 something pages of like The Children of Fallen Gods by Carissa Broadbent, which is the second book in the I forget what the series is called. I'm very forgetful apparently whenever I do these, but characters that are in a relationship got separated. Not like they broke up, but like they're in different environments now. And like, yeah, the yearning for each other is nice and all, but I'd prefer if they were together. Cause oh, also we got introduced to a new character. Apparently there's Fae in this book because apparently in every like romance fantasy book there's Fae. I like her point of view. She's basically like her blood is tainted, and she used to be a part of this royal family in the Fae, in the part of the Fae kingdom that she's in, but her blood is tainted, so she's no longer like accepted in the family, and she became like a oh, I forget what the league is called that she's in, but she becomes like a sword fighter, like a warrior basically, and now she's on a mission with somebody who went through something tragic. And people who are two different kingdoms that are kind of at each other's throats. Her storyline is incredibly interesting. Um, I don't know where it came from or how it connects yet. It's just like kind of thrown in there as of right now. And I might not know until the third book, which, like, okay. She has good writing, and her characters are very complex and cool. But I mean, the plot is okay too, just like, but it focuses a lot more on the characters, like what's going on with them, rather than like the plot and stuff. That's kind of the plot is the subplot, not like what's driving the characters. It's kind of just like the characters are experiencing things, and that's what she's talking about for like everything. Like you get to know a little bit of what's happening, and then it's like here's how these characters feel, which like I like, but it's a lot sometimes. I'm very tired. See you tomorrow. Hello. You want to be surprised? I didn't read any of the Children of Fallen Gods by Carissa Broadbent, but I did read like 100 something pages of Ninth House. I'm on chapter 14, which is page 232. I think I'm halfway through the book. I have no idea. There's some things in this book that just really make me question why they're in the book. And there's some things that are written about and just like so far haven't been addressed afterwards, which is like confusing. I mean, I'm really hoping to finish this book on like Saturday. I have no idea what the Children of Fallen Gods, how long that's gonna take me to read, but it's probably gonna be like over the weekend. Maybe next video I'll have something for you. But like, so you have these two characters, one male, one female, and some events have happened that have like changed their relationship a little bit, or at least should, in my eyes. And she hasn't addressed it at all in this book. Not the characters, just Lee. She hasn't talked about it. She like switched it to a backstory in the chapter following, or in his perspective, the chapter following what had happened. I don't know how to feel. I don't know. I don't know. This is interesting. It's interesting. I can't really judge it fully until I'm done with it, but anyways, I'm gonna go to bed. I keep filming these at night, and that's not like a good choice to be making because I'm tired and can't explain anything. Hey, but at least on the front of the book, this you can feel the snake's scales. That's cool, right? See you tomorrow. I don't know, bro. So, got back home from the gym early, so I'm probably going to read Children of Fallen Gods, Daughter of Fallen Gods. I think it's Children of Fallen Gods. Which by the way, I read some pages today, not a lot, maybe like 30 30-ish pages. Um, Tell me why the Faye character is really interesting, and like the rest of it's kind of just like, eh. I really hope we have more of her story. Also, are we gonna have a second love story within that book? Cause like I'm here for it if that's what's happening. But it's so far it's like slow. I haven't even gotten to 200 pages yet. So you know, I have gotten to over 200 pages in Ninth House by Le Bardugo. I am on chapter 22, page 325. I have like 130, 100, yeah, 100 like 30 pages left of this book. So I have some thoughts. So she has POC characters in like basically all of the books that she's written. She has like interracial relationships she writes. Like one of my favorite characters is Jesper and Inej, and she also has Zoila. You have even the main characters of Shadow and Bone are like supposed to be like, you know, have hate against them for what part of the country they come from or their ethnicity and stuff. And she writes that pretty well. This book, on the other hand, kind of just throws it in your face randomly and then just is never really talked about. Because, like, the main thing that she talks about is the trauma of the characters, which, like, makes sense, right? She'll just randomly throw in, like, weird racial things every now and then. I mean, I'm white, so of course I'm gonna be offended. Like, it just feels like it's at random weird times, and that, like, I don't know, it feels like kind of trying to be edgy. I mean, I don't know how to feel about it. And we also just got, like, it's not really a plot twist if you kind of saw it coming. But some interesting things have happened with the Greys, as they call the ghosts in this world. We've got relationship developments and stuff, but there's also really just like dark, horrific stuff in this happening to minors and stuff. Like, and it's just casually kind of mentioned with like the other traumas, which like I guess you like can group them together, you know, fun. I just don't really like it that much, and it makes me sad. But maybe I'll give the second book or the last 130 pages of this book just like a real good try, because I'm very disappointed at this point as of right now in reading this book, which makes me really, really sad because I love Leigh Bardugo. I don't even I don't even know how to process it, because like, yeah, a lot of the stuff, like, even with the magic pertains to like real life situations that are horrible and stuff, but it's just like there's so much within just like these like 400 something pages, and it's kind of thrown at you all at once, which like I don't know how else you would do it, but it's just kind of a lot. I'll be finishing this tomorrow. I'll probably read more of the Children of Fallen Gods tonight. I don't know, dude. I don't know how to feel or respond or act. Okay. Cool. See you tomorrow. So it's Saturday now, and I think I'm gonna end the reading vlog. Well, not reading vlog, but this video here. I finished Ninth House and gave it 3 stars out of 5. The ending was really good. It wrapped a lot of stuff up and a lot of mysteries and stuff that was kind of hinted at throughout the book. there's a plot twist at the end of this, and it's like, I don't know how to feel about it. Also, the ending of them being like setting up for the second book is interesting, but it's also just like, I don't really care that much. I feel like 3 stars is a pretty good rating for this. I also feel like this book is probably my least favorite book by Leigh Bardugo, and that makes me sad. The ending is like probably the best part of this book, if we're honest with ourselves. Um, just like the drama that happens. I love when you think things have concluded, but they really haven't, and you get like another plot twist to the story. I love when that happens. And I think that the way it was concluded is really good. I just wish the rest of the book was like that. I don't know how to really feel about this book. Maybe later I'll give it a lower rating, maybe later I'll give it a higher rating, but as of right now, I feel like 3 stars is a pretty fair review. I'm on page now. I'm on page like 200 of The Children of Fallen Gods. It's good. I'll probably read more this weekend of it, and next video probably try and finish it next video. Plus, in the mail today, I got what is it? What's this series called? The Broken Earth trilogy by N.K. Jemisin. It's still in its plastic. I didn't realize how like skinny these are. They're very tall though, so I'm guessing that's where it makes up most of it. But this was like $30. Or almost $30, like $29.99 or something. But I only have like $15 to my name now, so that's really great. So, Wrath of Dawn, I forget what I gave it, was good. Finished that in this video. Started on Ninth House. Continued reading Daughter of the Fallen Gods. I haven't really like had the motivation to really read that much this week, which makes me sad, but at the same time, like, I'm not going to force myself to read, because if I want to really like, I don't know, like fall into reading, I'm going to. I'm not just going to force myself to do it, because otherwise I'm not going to enjoy it, and then that's going to reflect on the book whether or not I want it to, and I prefer to give the book a fair review and not just have it based off of my mood while I was reading it. I'll probably read Hellbent, which, by the way, I don't know, I think I said Hell House at the beginning of this. That's not what it is. My memory has just been bad this week. My brain has not been working at all this week. But, I'll probably read that just because the setup for the second book is, like, interesting enough. And also, just, like, the powers, like, as much as I hate stuff that's, like, set, in, like, present times, it was still pretty good, the magic system, and also kind of just like the commentary on like what happens in college and people abusing powers within a magical system, and it's very interesting to see that, and to see like from a person who's so messed up what is wrong and right from their perspective. And I mean, yeah, it's a very interesting book, and it covers a lot of very traumatic things, so, like, check the trigger warnings if you want to read it. It's still, like, it's just a lot in a little amount of time, but I also don't know, like, with the plots that she was trying to cover, how, like, she would have written it otherwise, because, like, she wants you to have the depth and understanding of this character, so she kind of has to throw it in your face a little bit. I mean, there's some parts of it that I definitely wish were written better, and there's some parts that just kind of like weirded me out because how they were written. So again, not my favorite book by her, but still very interesting. I mean, the magic system, all of the different magic that they can do, what it's based off of, and the ending really gives you like a point of view of like where all of this magic stuff comes from, and it's interesting. And I do think that I think it was like Brittany Broski that I was watching. She was like, I don't like Ninth House. And I was like, oh, how dare you? I think I might have been influenced by her. And I hate the fact that that happens. But like, whenever I hear a bad review about something, like, just the same as if I hear a good review about something, I'm gonna like go buy it and like read it. If I hear a bad review about something, it makes me not want to read it. Or like I hear a bad review about a book that I was like, it's okay. I'm gonna like choose to agree with it because I'm like, oh yeah, I see that point of view. Like it's insane how gullible I am and just like go along with that stuff. Um, but yeah, I mean, I really wish other people's opinions on stuff didn't affect what I read. It's funny because there's sometimes when that does where that happens where people are like, this book is really good, and I read it, and I'm like, you just don't have as good of book taste as I thought you did. Um, so I can definitely form my own opinion, but it's definitely affected by like other people, which I think speaks for everybody, but maybe me more than others. Anyways, thank you for watching. See you next week, maybe. I don't know. Maybe I'll have motivation to film another one of these. Maybe I'll film it and hate it and not upload it. I don't know. Um, yeah. Weird reading week, but anyways.